And 5, 4, 3. Hey. Okay, we're live. Yes. Hello. Hello. Welcome to African Travel and More. My name is Yolandra. This is Jeff. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's been a long time. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, welcome, welcome. And we hope you'll subscribe. So let's get into a little bit of music before we get into our topic today. Our topic today is
Its topic is what?
the topic is a rough one. I can't even say it. But we're gonna tell
It's
you
the new year of African travel.
Yes, the new year.
The good,
The
the
bad.
bad, and why Ghana sucks. That was the title we had.
And we're gonna tell you.
And we'll talk more about it in a
a
second.
little bit. Okay, so don't hate us.
Yeah, keep in mind, I write these songs right at the beginning of the show, so I don't. These are just kind of made up. But if you want me to write a song for you, just go to Jeff the Great. What's my
I think it's
website? JeffTheGreat.com.
.com. Yeah.
And sign up, and I'll work on a song for you. It's something I used to do, actually. Something I used to do professionally. I used to teach songwriting, and I used to work with artists and develop their songs. So it's one of those things that's kind of natural to me. So if you got an idea and you got something you're celebrating, just contact us, and I can do a variety of styles. So I'm just going to kind of jam a little bit.
Just a little bit to get it started. Welcome, welcome.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
African travel and more. I'm making this up as I go. Happy New Year. African travel and more.
You're welcome. Sounding
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year and welcome, welcome. Hey, Happy New Year, Frank, to you. Long time no see. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's been a long time. We're happy to be back. We've been up to a lot outside of YouTube, but it's been good. 2022, I'm going to tell you, it was a good year for us. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And I know a lot of our friends have tuned in to say, why are these people saying Ghana sucks? Okay, now we're gonna get into that because you know and I know we love Ghana. We do, I say 50% of our business we do there, but it's something that has recently transpired.
But let's say a little bit of the good.
One of the
good things that we've established over the last year and continuing is we established a foundation.
Yes.
In the Gambia.
Yes.
And we are starting to source products and help with the community there.
Yes.
In the Gambia, we have some very good people on the ground who we work with, and we're beginning to develop things. There's always land for sale, property for sale, but there's always property to develop if you are going to benefit the community. So we're working on all that sort of stuff too. That's one of the good things that is continuing, ongoing. And then, of course, we know the bad and why Ghana sucks. We can talk about that. Now, of course, the interior of Ghana and the people in the villages are absolutely fantastic.
Beautiful. We have many friends there. Many.
One of the reasons we haven't been in a while is that Ghana continually changes its entry requirements. And what Ghana has done, which no other country has done, is that they charge you a fee just to come into the country, they charge you $150 for a free test.
Each person.
And we paid it about 3 times. So, but after a while, you just say, this is, you take a test before you get there, and then they charge you to take another test that is free. I mean, I was looking to see if I had one here. We got a stack of them that take the same test.
Aquava. See, I knew our Ghanaians were gonna tune in.
The same test that we do for free. We got them in our home.
Yeah.
The same thing they do, and it's not even a PCR test. It's an antigen test, which is free everywhere. I mean, when we go, but they charge $150 for that, and that's no good. That made no sense. The other thing that Ghana did was, right after we discovered that the vaccine was absolutely no good, doesn't work, doesn't prevent the virus, and doesn't keep you from giving the virus, they decided to make the vaccine a mandate before you get there. This is after we found out it doesn't work. So that tells me that there's something fishy going on with the government in the pharmaceutical industry. I think I've talked about that before.
And it's what we hear from our friends there. Right now, I don't know who on right now is actually in Ghana. I see our Ghanaian family is on. So welcome, Akwaba, Medase. Yes, we still love you, Ghana. We'll always love you.
But like we said, the interior, the people are great, but what they're doing, like in terms of the entry in the government and so forth, I've seen some things. Some of the things I've seen with some of the laws, I don't see those things actually benefiting the masses, because when we go there, we're in the villages, we're in the people who are all in their homes. All they got is like mud and a grass roof or thatch roof, and these are the people we love.
And that we support, that we work so hard to support. But a reason for the title, we're going to get into that a little bit. But as a matter of fact, right now, we have a group that's touring there. We do our tours on the side, and our daughter is leading that group. And part of the title has to do with her recent treatment coming through the airport. It was horrible. It brought me to tears to hear my child crying and the immigration officers yelling at her. This type of corruption have to stop. At the end, we have friends there who were able to connect. They knew how to connect and to get her out, but they were threatening deportation, and it's too much.
Right. I think the threat of deportation was half true, but mostly to extract money. Which they did.
They did. Yeah, they did.
And one of the reasons that they were able to, the people that we had deal with the folks at the immigration, was because they know that we're investors. And then that we got a group of investors. And they stand, including my daughter who is there, who is a high-income individual with her friends, high-income individuals. So they stand to lose a lot of investment money. Because we have groups of people that we have that want to come and invest, but we cannot invest in a country that we don't know if our people are going to be treated right.
Right, and coming through the airport, and we've always said that it's the government's coming through the airport. You meet some of the worst people. Can we just tell the truth about it? You meet people who are corrupt, and the corruption needs to stop, because when people come into a country, say that group of people that we put the tour together, they're there, they're enjoying themselves. They started in Tanzania, right? They saw a little bit of low-key foolishness, but it wasn't from the Tanzanians, it was from the other people that are there. But what's the embarrassing thing? They get to Ghana, and the people, they show out totally at the airport. They held my daughter for about 3 hours, And I know people say, what did your daughter do? I'm sure she exchanged, but
Yeah, but
this,
we're gonna she's
yeah,
gonna do an
she's
interview
gonna
with
come.
us when
Yes,
she gets back from her trip to
because
Africa. We're gonna have
she's
an
still
interview with
there
her.
now. She's still there, and everything is fine now. Because, like we always say, the Ghanaian people, beautiful. Our African brothers and sisters on the continent, it's no problem. It's just our governments trip out too much. These people that get a little bit of power, they want to go crazy. And so we're going to give a little bit of tip today, but it was because of this. I don't know if you can see, this is the Ghana immigration card that you fill out. Okay. And one of the things they were yelling at her, I can't read this. I can't read. Isn't it just simple to say, rewrite? I've had to rewrite some parts of it, but the people, they didn't act so disrespectful. So that's the part of it. Can these people at the airport start to respect people? You have to be careful when you're traveling, not only to Ghana. We've had, we were detained in Morocco, and we did a video on that, how I had to get our passports back because these people were going to hold our passports, and they held us for 8 hours, more than 8 hours in their country. But by the grace of God, we got out. But this, I know you said she's going to come and she's going to share. We're going to have her share because it's better for you to get it from her. Of course, I'm mom, so I'm going to protect my kids, even though they're grown. I was getting this call at 6:30 in the morning, hearing my child screaming, crying at the airport. Oh God, mom, they're saying they're going to deport her to Togo. You can't deport her to Togo. Togo is not her country.
So
What?
basically, they
Uh-uh.
did a job of intimidation
Mm-hmm.
and intimidation to the final speaker, just like I told her and told and this is not uncommon
Mm-mm.
for other African countries.
Mm-mm.
Now, I'm not. This is not just Ghana.
No.
It's just that Ghana had improved so much. We've been going to Ghana for
Oh,
about 14 years,
yeah. Many,
and
many, many
they
years.
had improved so much at the airport and the immigration and the
Yes.
corruption. And I remember going there with had our visas, and they said something was wrong, and they charged us $150 a piece. This is before the pandemic,
Right. Right.
to come into the country. They
Right.
didn't stamp anything. But
Mm-mm.
I remember, but they improved on that. I
Right.
remember all the
Exactly.
improvements and we were really high
Yes.
on the country. We
Yes.
tried to steer investors there. Uh,
Yeah.
you know,
And we'll
it's just
continue to. We'll
it's just a
continue.
variety of things.
But it needs to clean up that
Right.
part. That part it needs to clean up because Africa is rising,
True.
but I would reach out to brothers and sisters on the planet, on the not planet, on the continent. The choices that you make for the leaders, the leaders. Oh my God, they have to. We know because we know what type of leadership we have now in this country, and I'm gonna I'm gonna get off of that one because that's a long one. But it's the leadership. It's
Right.
the leadership.
So we're gonna have an extended interview with Megan. She'll be able to tell you sort of what happened. And we just wanted to get on and just talk a little bit about what we're doing
Mm-hmm.
and
And
where
try
we're
to get some
going.
of the people that did the tour. I'm sure they were very. Africa is beautiful, and many of the people who are starting to go on the tours that we're setting up for them, no one has a complaint. But I think that this one, it was just like Frank says, it was a very unfortunate situation. Yes, it was. And is it something that we're saying Ghana is very bad and saying ugly things? No, we're just speaking in truth, because you really have to be cautious, like Jeff is saying, in many countries, because sometimes it's the people. It's a people situation.
Yeah,
People
it's how you
with a little
introduce.
bit of power.
Right, it's how you introduce into a
Mm-hmm.
country. And
Yeah. Yeah.
like I said, that we've had this experience before, and a lot of times the experience will come from a frontline person who may or may not be able to communicate with you adequately, and you're trying to figure out how to communicate with them. And then after a while, they start to have like this bully mentality. They can make things difficult. We've had situations where they tried to make us miss our flights.
Yeah,
We've
we
had
have missed flights,
and it's not because
that was Uganda.
we acted ugly. It's because what happens sometimes is there'll be policies and rules and so forth that we read ahead of time. So we get to the airport and then they change it on at the station, you know, the clerk or whoever.
Yeah.
And then we argue the point.
Yeah.
And they don't like the fact that we argued the point, and they make it difficult, and they start to do things to try to make things more difficult.
Yeah.
And one of the things that happens, and it's not just Ghana, it's many African countries, I always call it, they take you through the ringer.
Oh yes.
And when the ringer is finished,
Right.
what spouts out is money.
Right.
And sometimes they'll just come to you before you even go through the ringer.
Right.
They'll say,
appreciate that.
Right.
Better,
they'll
please.
say, hey, come, and they'll pull you aside and give me a few dollars, give me a dash, and you move on, which is not good, and it's corrupt.
Yeah.
But I think one of the worst types of corruption is when they take you through the ring and pretend like there's a rule or something, or or something's wrong with your document. We had that coming from Gambia to Senegal. They act like something was wrong with the documents, and of course they took us through
in June.
They took us through the ringer, and at the end, when they wrung out everything out of it, what came out was cash. But you know, but we just expected more from Ghana. But the main thing is just the way they treat, at least what we saw, because we were on the phone hearing the conversation,
right?
The way they were treating people there, and people who actually have a vested interest in helping to make the country better. These are African Americans. These are people who are not trying to exploit your people, exploit your land. These are people who come to work with you as brothers and sisters.
Right.
And why are you going to do that? You know, that was the part that we didn't like.
Has anyone had this experience in not just Ghana, but any African country? I know that
let me interrupt you. Okay. And it's not just African countries, but if you ever had this experience.
Yes, in any country. Because one of the things one of the immigration officers had the nerve to tell my daughter was that their cousin just got detained in the UK, and he was sent back to Ghana. And it's like, what are you telling her that for? Okay, let's see what Frank says. Some individuals' bad behavior with immigration personnel. Yeah, it's true. You know, we're not making it up. It needs to stop, because these things impede progress. You know, they block the progress. Ghana has come too far. Ghana is a leader in African nations. So for this to happen, it's like, oh my gosh. And it was so embarrassing for my daughter, because these people that we brought, she recently, I think one of them, I don't know, I believe they are from Mexico, at least one of them, but I'm not sure. And they went 2 or 3 months ago to their country, to Mexico. They didn't experience this going to Mexico. They're here in North America with us.
And you keep in mind that Mexico, at last I checked, was one of the top 10 unsafe countries, scariest countries in the world. So reason I'm saying that is because you would expect something like that in a corrupt country, and unfortunately Mexico is corrupt. That's why you have so many illegal
coming out
immigrants from Mexico coming to the United States.
Some of everybody.
But you know, we just expected better. And the other thing that frosts us, or as they say, frost my hide, is that whole thing, that how they've taken the vaccine and used it as a way to make money, and to
please come on, Ghana.
I mean, it's so absurd and ridiculous. I don't even get it. But we have some good things coming, though. Yeah. We have some travel coming up.
Yeah.
We have some great experiences coming. And then we have some videos to show you from when we were in Egypt, Greece, the Gambias, Sweden. You remember, it's called African Travel and More.
And more. So we have more than that.
We were in Greece and we were in Sweden. So you'll get to see them more. And we've been to Paris a lot, and I'm sure you've seen it. We'll show some footage from Paris. It's a great group. If you ever go to Paris, go look for the not African American, the African community there. It's very good. Very good
Senegalese.
Food. Right.
We really, oh my gosh, we really had a good time. But yeah, we've been moving about. We're still here. We miss everybody. We've been doing our thing. You know, you have to handle your business. You have to have those stream of income happening, and you know, you do good in it. So that's what we've been focused on. I think we're going to get a little bit more consistent. I don't know if we're going to do one live a month and then switch to our videos of interest that tell you about these different places.
Right. We have
kind of the thought.
Yeah, so we have to get more consistent. We have to get our technology. That's one thing we're going to do, is we're going to upgrade our technology, and we're going to do a few other things. Be more consistent. Work on delivering good content for the subscribers and interacting with the subscribers and the people who just see the video. So
we look forward to meeting some of you. Some of you we met. I had lunch with one of our subscribers on yesterday, but she's here in the U.S. And I was telling her, and actually she also we did a private tour with her back in 2020 of January before the pandemic. And she couldn't believe it. She was like, what? She said, I didn't have any problem going through Wonder. What was it? And she was almost in tears because she was sitting there saying, what? I don't understand, and wants to go with us in June, because we're going to be looking at some I think Sierra Leone,
right, and plus some other countries we'll be looking at. We'll try to hit a couple of countries that we haven't been to, new countries,
and
let you see that,
new countries.
And in sort of in closing on my part anyway, I know in terms of us Americans that sometimes when we see a wrong, sometimes we'll call it.
Right.
We're kind of forthright.
That's our culture.
And
that's our culture. We're like that.
And sometimes, and especially since she was, female. I mean, I said she, so it's female.
Right. You don't know
that sometimes that doesn't play well with the male dominated cultures, like many of the cultures in Africa. And so they want to try to dominate you, intimidate you, and teach you a lesson, that sort of thing.
They did, actually, they said that. That's what they told our friend, that they wanted to teach. They wanted to teach her a lesson.
Right.
Well,
so
she's a grown adult. We're her parents. We teach her a lesson, not you.
Right. So because one of the things that even Brittany Griner said, that the Russians treated her well. So how can she say the Russians treated her well and the Africans don't even treat us well?
Oh no! Oh, Lord,
she did. She
I didn't
said
even know that.
She said the Russians treated her well. So that's just an aside comment, but. We're gonna be more consistent. And we're gonna show more footage as we get on. But we wanted to say that we love Ghana. We love the people there.
Yeah. Someone says, Frank says, I think vaccine is not compulsory now in Ghana. Don't forget PCR test is still there.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you for that.
Let me offer this. What happened, Frank? Tell
them about
before we went. Our last travel experience, before we went to Sweden and Greece and all that, we talked to the embassy people. And like you're saying, the embassy people at the embassy said the vaccine was not required, or no boosters were required. They still had the PCR test that was ridiculous, but actually, the PCR test is in the United States. When you get to Ghana, it's an antigen test. It's not a PCR test. PCR test takes about 24 hours to show results. Antigen test, you can get results in about 10 to 15 minutes. But they charge $150 for a free antigen test. And that's the thing that just really pisses me off. If it was a PCR test, even though I would find it somewhat worthless, I would be more paid. But here's the thing. In Ghana, you can go to one of their labs and get a PCR test for about $80. They may have went down since, but because they know you're a captive audience in the airport, they charge you $150 for antigen tests. And I keep saying that is free everywhere. We came out of Paris with the free
With the
antigen test
free,
and free PCR
free.
test. Getting to Ghana, they're trying to charge us 100. So what I'm saying is that's just not right. They know it's not right,
Yeah, that's
and that just gonna that
restrictions.
hurts them in the long run.
Uh,
So the vaccine, one thing about the vaccine that happened was we talked to the people at the embassy, and they assured us there was nothing, no vaccine or boosters required. And when we booked our trip, as we went on the trip, in the middle of the trip,
in Greece,
they changed the policy and forced us to stay in Greece, and we couldn't go to Ghana. They
right.
wouldn't let us board the plane.
So we lost that. That was a loss.
So that's what I'm saying. So doing things like that with no regard for any respect for how they operate, that just it bothers me. And when you start talking about trying to funnel money, hundreds of thousands of dollars into a country,
into projects,
you know, I don't know if it's something I should encourage people to do if the governments don't have a consistent way in which they operate. That's concerning. If you know, and that was one of the reasons we loved Ghana, because they were consistent.
Yes.
Their government was safe. It was consistent. The change of power was never violent and no bloodshed.
Right.
You know, like in Cote d'Ivoire or Ivory Coast, when they change power, it don't go.
And even we had a little situation here, right?
So you know, so I'm running my mouth. I kind of went long, but that's the thing that kind of bothers you. That, and then the incident with the people there, you know.
Someone says the test is now free in Ghana. You know,
well, we'll check, but the last time we checked, and first of all, I believe what you're saying. I'm not saying you're lying, because we haven't checked in a month or so.
Yeah, are you in Ghana? Because Stephen, because I know what my daughter says is that they didn't even ask for the vaccine card, but this is the problem that we encountered, that they won't even let you get on the plane to go. So we ended up losing a lot of money. But this was back in June of 2022, and we had to shift and go to another country. So it was really, 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 really bad.
Right. And I remember in March 2022, Nana Ado was pointing out some of the changes, and it did look like things were just going to change and they were not going to have all these requirements because they didn't need them. Nobody needs them.
They're not sick. They're not sick.
And so but it turns out he said one thing, but when you start to travel and move about, it changed. Right. So I'm gonna take you for your word, Stephen.
He said they'll test you at no cost. Okay.
So we'll look into it. I appreciate you sharing that.
I do too. Thank you. Because you know what? Actually, we don't need the test as U.S. citizens to return to the United States. We no longer need it. But we'll see. And if this is so where it's not a problem, then we'll return to Ghana. Because you know, we have our friends. We have the village in the north that we support, you know, in Bolga. So you know we want to go back. Our friends are like, when are you gonna come back? Just tell them you don't want. That's what our friend Michael said. Just tell them you don't want. Well, you know, it's the government. The government is tripping out. But we've still been doing our business there. You know, we are still doing business because it didn't affect the relationships that we've made. We have our friends there, and we're gonna do our business in Ghana until they say you can't do business. And what Ghanaian is gonna tell us you can't?
I don't know.
It's not true. It won't happen. They want to do business. Okay.
So we're anything else, because we're about to close out, and we just wanted to
thank you for coming. Thank you, everyone.
We wanted to share how much we love our Ghanaian people.
Oh yeah,
we love the country, but we also want to share what the things that suck right now, and if they improve, we will definitely tell you these things have improved.
Yes,
and
please.
We're gonna have our daughter on to talk about her that situation and what happened. And then maybe
it came a few weeks ago.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. Okay, so that's great. This is great. You know, we appreciate you. Remember, please give a like If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Uh, like my husband said earlier, we're going to get more regular, but and you could see we don't trash talk any country. We weren't going to trash talk. I knew Jeff came up with that title. I knew people would come, but we love Ghana. We love all the African continent, and the truth is, to continue to rise and be more successful, because I'm going to tell you this, the world needs Africa because you have all the resources, but we need to get like this. We see ourselves as a bridge for that, and especially connecting with the business community. We have some things that are coming up, and also for people who, if you're in Ghana and you want some business investment here, we're doing here also as well. So it's all about connecting and spreading that good word. But the good news is out right now. Africa is rising, and it's just so much goodness. But yeah, it's some stuff we need to handle. We need to handle our business. Some of these people who are doing all that wicked, corrupt stuff at the immigration need to stop. They know they need to stop. You're paid a salary. What if I, in my day job, did some corrupt stuff, which I would not.
Yeah, but there's corruption everywhere.
Corruption everywhere,
right? In the United States and
in
everywhere.
The US too.
It's just that that barrier. It's just that barrier. It's just when we advocate and we get people to go there, and we're working for people and monies to go there. And we'll tell you about the groups and them that's coming there and getting ready to, maybe getting ready to invest.
Right,
we'll see.
Right.
But we'll tell you more about that later, because we have to have better details and get it vetted correctly and have the structure correct.
Right.
And then we'll talk about it. And then who knows, maybe you want to get involved somehow.
Right. And we have to protect our investors. No one's going to send people and they get hemmed up at the airport. Oh,
because it's just a sour experience. That's the thing. But anyway, we're done.
Yes, we
so
are.
Let me see.
Play us out. Remember to. Well, let me tell them this.
Okay.
Happy New Year again. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. May you reach all of your dreams this year. May your dreams become a reality. Amen. In Jesus' name. Okay, let's play us out. Hey.
God bless you,
all
my friends. I'm making this up as we end. God bless you, all my friends. Making this up as we end.
All right, family. God bless you. God bless you. Have an awesome, awesome start to this new year, and be prosperous. Until next time, okay? We're going to get more consistent. I promise. Bye-bye.